R. Barley 18, wide receiver 2 historically in Smith's offense is the most irrelevant position on offense. Why don't people understand this? Typical one guy outside, and then the numbers on tight ends or inside the numbers in a slot. I don't get why no one explains this.
R. Barley, shout out to you too, man, because you rock with us for a minute, man. I like your energy. I think the thing that you're forgetting is the reason why wide receiver 2 was irrelevant was because they had this running back. What was his name? Derrick Henry. Yeah. If you have Derrick Henry, wide receiver 2 doesn't matter. Just like you said and everything that you pointed out. But you take that exact same approach, you put it in Atlanta. What were the results? And that's the part that we're looking at. And we're just saying we can repeat the mistakes that were made, or you can look at the context as to why it worked in Tennessee and why it did not work to the same extent in Atlanta. And to me, I think the big part that we're leaving out is the Derrick Henry effect. That was when we talked about last week when I was, just kind of going through the argument of Najee and Jalen Warren together giving us the production that Derrick Henry accounted for solo. And then not to mention just the effect of when you see Derrick Henry out there, how teams defensively were playing him and playing that offense. That was a big reason why Ryan Tannehill was able to thrive with the play action pass. But it was largely because of Derrick Henry. Now, we said we got a big back that likes to run through the holes, but we don't have a Derrick Henry. So if you don't have that type of running back that has that type of not just production from a statistical standpoint, but also has the impact that from just a mentality standpoint, a coordinator defensively is not going to be, oh, let's just play small ball versus that, man. I don't believe in him. No. Derrick Henry was one of them dudes that made you play base defense. If you don't have that player out there, then your wide receiver 2 matters a whole heck of a lot more. And that's the part where we're saying that in our situation, wide receiver 2 is going to matter a lot more than wide receiver 2 mattered in Tennessee. And if we don't put a little bit more resources in that room, that could come back to bite us in the butt. And we just don't want that to be the case.
Not only that, but I think it's less about like what happened in Tennessee. Because honestly, like the one season, I think it was 2020, Corey Davis had almost 1,000 yards. Yeah. A.J. Brown was their number one. They also had Corey Davis. So their wide receiver 2 was relevant. I think for the Falcons, they just didn't have a wide receiver 2.
You had a tight
end.
Who
was it? They had Calvin Ridley out there early, but who was it after him? No one.
Because they tried to do Drake London.
Yeah, he got drafted. I think Drake London's been there 2 years, and he became their wide receiver.
He got drafted after the Calvin Ridley stuff.
But they haven't had anyone across from him, really.
Like,
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I'm sure if we go through the roster right now, we'd be like, yeah, that's all they had. Yeah, so maybe Arthur Smith would have got the wide receiver 2 more involved in Atlanta if they actually had a decent guy.
Because you went with Julio, and then from Julio they brought in Calvin Ridley, and then after Ridley was when he got Ridley suspended, and then they brought in Drake London and the Cal Pitts, and then they did Drake, Cal Pitts, and Bijan.
Yeah, I can't even. Maybe Van Jefferson was supposed to be their number 2. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think he was banged up a little bit in Atlanta.
But that was post trade too, because he didn't even
like
start
take your
there.
best
He
guess.
started a year out in L.A.
Who was their wide receiver 2 last year? Take your best guess.
Matt Collins.
We'll say the last 2 years.
It was Mac. It was Mac Hollins. Had to be the.
So that goes to my point.
I think it had to be Mac, right? Because I think it was Mac. Yeah,
we played them 2 years ago.
I think it was Mac.
So, yeah, Kyle Pitts, he had 600 yards. Johnny Smith had 580.
And tight ends, yeah.
So, Drake London had 905. Their next best receiver was 251, Mac Hollins.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Not at all.
I don't think Arthur Smith is looking at that and saying, like, yeah, I want to replicate that here. He probably wants to go back to looking at what he did at Tennessee and saying, A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. Those were 2,000-yard receivers right there. Corey Davis, no one's talking about him like he lived up to his first-round pedigree
when your
either.
Number one receiver doesn't have over 1,000 receiving yards too, bro. We limited. You limited.
All right, take a guess for last year or 2 years ago. I'm sorry.
Oh man, so was Ridley there? No, Ridley's not there just yet. This is still Drake London. This is his rookie year, right? Is this the Kyle Pitts draft? I feel like this is the Kyle Pitts draft. If you said not this year, year before.
This is Kyle Pitts' second year.
Yeah.
Second
So
year.
that had to be no.
I think
because
if
Van was traded, so I think it low key. No, it was the. It's not Muhammad Sanu. It's not him. Is it Mac again?
If you get this, I might have to drink alcohol again.
Oh God, I'm not. That's no way I know this that bad. I'm trying Atlanta, not this past year, the year before. Oh,
I might have to take a shot if you get this.
Oh man, I don't have it. I feel like you're gonna say it and I'm be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
No, you might, just because we played him, like you might
Yeah.
recognize, like looking at the depth chart and looking at him when you watch some film. Zacchaeus,
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have had that, bro.
Olamide Zacchaeus.
Yeah,
He had 533 yards and 3 touchdowns. Drake London was their number one again. This was his rookie year.
Yeah, his rookie
866 yards and
because
4
Kyle
touchdowns.
Pitts was in and out with the hammy that year.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was no way I was gonna get that one, Deke. Literally, the only reason I knew the Matt Collins was because he just signed with the Bills. That was
All
about
right, then do we want to look at
The year before that was Calvin
Arthur
Ridley's
Smith's
last year.
first year? Yeah.
Yeah. Was
Atlanta.
was he suspended or did he actually get that season? Because he was suspended all of that final year in Atlanta. So I don't think Arthur Smith ever got Calvin.
He didn't. Yeah, he
Yeah.
only had 281 yards.
Right. So that's a tough, just once again, if you do not have that personnel out there or you don't have this monster back here, yeah,
Pitts
man.
was their top guy.
Yeah, because
You
that
have
was
a
it. He
guess?
was straight.
You have a guess as their top receiver then?
No, this had to be.
Zacchaeus is back. He's their wide receiver too.
It's the athlete at quarterback. Oh my gosh, because it's right before he went to New England. Oh my gosh.
You're thinking Sanu?
Yeah, is it Sanu?
No.
All right, I'm off there. If it ain't Sanu, I thought it was Sanu.
No. Russell Gage, 770 yards.
Ew.
He was their
It's
top
not,
receiver.
It's not ill to Russell. I'm just saying ill that was their number one dude, bro.
Kyle Pitts had 1,000 yards, but as their top
Russell
receiver,
was the top
is Russell
receiver.
Gage.
Yeah, top outside receiver. Yeah, came over from Tampa. Heck yeah. Yeah, Arthur has some. Hey, once again, get the personnel, get the pieces, man. Because
And those last 2
man.
years, he had a combination
Yeah.
of Mariota and Ritter, right, quarterback at Heineke.
yeah, please.
I'd like to think we got a little bit better than that here.
Art Barley, I love your confidence in just the scheme itself, but I'm gonna need a wide receiver too to take some of that heat off of the crew.
Yeah, and like I said,
Yeah, man, I'm gonna need a wide receiver too,
You
baby.
got receivers involved in Tennessee. He
Yeah.
had two almost. I mean, Corey Davis would have had
Corey
1,000
Davis was
yards.
straight.
I think he
Yeah.
only played in 13, 14 games.
Yeah.
If you look back on that season, he was on pace.
Corey was straight. Corey just kept getting hurt.